All right, so first up is AI-powered image drop shadows. So many of our customers, especially in the cosmetics, apparel, or jewelry space, often use drop shadows to elevate their product imagery and make the products pop. But this often requires expensive creative tools, manual workflows, and expertise. Even with the best of creative tools, it can take up to 10 minutes to create those realistic drop shadows. Now imagine scaling this across hundreds and thousands or even millions of product imagery. It quickly becomes unmanageable. And so, what we're offering here is the ability to create precise drop shadows for objects in an image using our proprietary AI and machine learning algorithms that are content aware, that can identify the contours and complex shapes of different objects and create those very precise drop shadows.
I really want to emphasize this is the scalable option here. This is such amazingness because if you think about work, if you're in the creative side of things, if you're on the marketing side of things, when you've had to start adding drop shadows to product imagery, it is where you're typically going into, as he said, various photo editing software, creative software, and you're manually doing this on each single image. And I've seen tons of how-to videos floating around the web about how to do it faster, more efficiently, but it's not necessarily about automation. And that's really what this is doing, is we're adding this automated experience that is AI driven. So that way you can take dozens or hundreds of various images and apply that drop shadow across it, if I understand you correctly.
Yeah, that's right. It is instant generation of these drop shadows with the addition of a single parameter e underscore drop shadow in that URL of the image. And for those who need that more control and want to be able to control how those shadows get created, they also have the option of specifying the direction, the angle, and the spread of light source for even more realistic drop shadows. And as I mentioned, tons of applications across retail, across e-commerce, and being able to kind of do this very complex task at scale.
Absolutely incredible. So I'm dying to see how this is done. So let's bring Paul in and have him demonstrate exactly how you can apply drop shadow with this brand new transformation from Cloudinary. So Paul, how we do this?
Okay, thanks, Sam. So I'm going to start with the same image that you saw in Aditya's slide, the image of a bracelet. This is the original image that we used for the demo. It has no background. It has no drop shadow. So this is ideal of an image that you could use for the drop shadow effect. You could use it in a product detail page. Simply, as Aditya said, you can simply apply the e-drop shadow effect to get this effect that you see here. This is simply applying the basic standard settings for the angle, for the spread, things like that. If I move over to the next slide, we can actually see that I've added a few commands here. It may look identical to the previous slide because I'm actually using the default settings here. The three settings we have access to are azimuth, elevation, and spread. Elevation and spread may be self-explanatory. Azimuth actually refers to the angle of the light. So if you can imagine a ring going around the image, we're from 0 to 360. 0 and 360 is a light source directly behind. 90 would be to the east or the right-hand side of the image. 180 would be directly in front of the image. And 270 would be west or to the left of the image. The default setting here is 215, so the light source is coming from around this area. Let's say we want to take this and fine-tune it. As Aditya explained, we want to actually maybe change the light source a bit, maybe bring the shadow down a bit. So let's say I want the light source coming in from the right-hand side. I can simply change this to 90, and we'll notice that the light source now shifts. The angle now shifts to coming from the east or the right-hand side of the image. I can actually change the elevation too right now. This is at 45. This is sort of a 90-degree scale that we can get here. So 45 degrees is coming directly from this angle on the image. Let's say I want this to be a little bit higher. I can set this to 75, and that brings it down a bit. And finally, I can work with the spread. The spread is essentially the intensity of the shadow. It goes from 0 to 100. The default setting is 50. Let's say I want that spread to be a little more subtle, excuse me. I can simply change this down to 10. And now we'll have a nice, simple, and easy way to fine tune this shadow, get something a little more subtle that we can use in all of our product images as needed.
It's incredible. And what's nice about this is that everything is fairly intuitive based on what you described, because once you start thinking everything in terms of basic directional details and what you're describing, like 90 degrees to the east and 180 degrees, then you can start to understand, okay, where is my light source coming from? Where's my elevation coming from? And then what is the overall intensity? And intensity, to make sure I fully understand, intensity is essentially equal to spread. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah. This is to Aditya's point. Say we want to have a uniform spread angle on all of these shadows. We can simply use these settings over and over again at scale, as opposed to someone going in there and fine tuning that in Photoshop over and over again.
And I think that's absolutely true, because in a lot of cases, at least what I've seen with people that are tied to e-commerce and product management, is that they're going to have various images that are coming from a photo shoot. And rather than, once again, having to do all of those manual edits, maybe in certain types of creative programs, they can say, because we want the light source to always come from this direction, we want it to have this type of intensity to it, you can just simply apply a preset transformation that's going to apply all of those things at once. And that's the scalability of what we're covering here.
Exactly. 100%.
Amazing. Amazing. So Aditya, let's bring you back in here. So is there any final thoughts that you have about this overall process that Paul's gone and shown? Anything more about the overall new innovation that's come from the addition of drop shadow?
No, I'm just excited to see how this feature saves thousands of creative or development hours that many of our customers are today spending in creating these kind of drop shadows.
Absolutely. And what I do want to also emphasize is that everything that we just covered here is inside of our amazing documentation. So if you simply go to cloudinary.com/documentation and do a search for drop shadow, you're going to find a similar screen to what we're showing you right now. And that's going to give all of the details that Paul went and showed about all of the different configuration options when it comes to applying it, and also the simplicity of just applying drop shadow to your overall images. So that way you can try it with your Cloudinary accounts.